So Wednesday, Steph Curry, that was incredible, and that's what it's going to look like for the Warriors to make some noise in the playoffs. Friday bothered me in the ATL. Atlanta tried to give the game away, and the Warriors couldn't guard anybody. So I'm no longer concerned with the Warriors offensively. It's all on the defensive end. Then Saturday, Dylan Brooks has clowned you. Draymond did a podcast, and Dre, I'm not coming down your road, but I'm disappointed that this is the second time in a month that Dylan Brooks in Memphis without Ja have gotten the best of you. So I'm living in the past thinking the Warriors, and I'm using your metric, if they're within 6 with 50 seconds left or they're down 8 with 2 minutes left, that's what you better watch out. A lot of that is emptying. That tank is on low, and to lose to Memphis in the fashion they did and have Clay go fingergate. I love Klay Thompson, but I felt like, Clay, how about y'all kick somebody's ass and then you won't have to resort to doing the numbers. But if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And then last night, I'll tell you what, Steiny, as bad as it's been on the road, beggars can't be choosy. You won, but defensively, teams are having their way with the Warriors. And when I was on that airplane, and I'm in front of you now, I will say this to you. I'm not asking where Wiggins is at. I'm not asking why Wiggins is out. What we know is he ain't been around. And since he ain't been around, Jack, this team is missing arguably their second best overall player. And if he's not coming back, I may need to just, it got to be payday, send you that hundo. Because Steiny, they cannot overcome his absence, especially on the defensive end. That win yesterday was a C-D+, but you needed it. And they miss Andrew Wiggins. I feel like I can say that without people saying I'm being insensitive. Well, you mind your own business. They miss Wiggins.
I think he did a great job of summarizing the last few days.
You love words.
And I think he did a great job of recapping their 1-3 trip and kind of each game. But I asked you how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling
I love you.
About your Warriors? They're one game over 500. All right, Goo? Right now they're in the 6th spot, a half a game ahead of Dallas. They play Dallas tomorrow.
Humongous.
They're 1-3. I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't, because it was just another case of me being right on the money when you were making outlandish predictions about this road trip.
4-1.
And what did I say? I tell you what.
2-3.
You come home 2-3, you're going to be fine. They win tomorrow against Dallas, they're going to like their spot. That's where I'm at.
I like that, but I'm nervous. I'm going to keep it real. I am really nervous right now, Steiny, and it's what I told the guys as I did the pre-show. There is no Tupac on this team, Steiny. They don't have a lot of athletic guys except Kuminga. And you could say, Goo, this ain't a dunk contest, but you know what I mean? A guy that can put it on the floor like Andrew Wiggins and create his own shot, shoot the three, defend Tatum or Brown or the other team's best player. I think we're asking this Warrior team, and we've been unfair because it's starting to come into focus for me, Matt. If Wiggins does not come back, this team has no chance.
Is that news? We've all been saying that.
I think because there's two sides to this story about some saying you're being insensitive. To me, it ain't getting enough run.
There's nothing wrong with saying...
If Tatum or Brown go down in Boston, you're done. If Fox goes down in Sac, you're done. If KD doesn't come back in Phoenix,
well, don't compare Wiggins to those guys.
But the impact is there.
Of course it is.
He is your second best player on both sides of the court. And we've been pussyfooting around about, well, not you. Oh, well, what is it? Forget what it is. Thoughts and prayers. The bottom line is the team is hemorrhaging. All they do is shoot threes. Nobody goes to the cup but Jordan Poole. And I'm no longer on him. He's doing the best he can. Some great passes.
So you're just expressing frustration over things right now.
Yes, and that's why when you ask me as a whole, like a loaf of bread, where I'm at, I'm nervous.
Well,
I'm nervous, friend. Help me.
But to me, you saying the Warriors can't win it without Wiggins, and that's 99% of fans think that.
Well, can they beat Dallas tomorrow on the road without Wiggins?
That's yeah, sure, why not? They can win a game on the road without Wiggins.
All right.
But, that's one of those things where it's kind of like the old foul trouble thing. Guy's not in foul trouble anymore after he's fouled out. It's like the Wiggins thing. I mean, he's not here. He's not here, and you got to figure that he's probably not going to be here.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Can you win without Wiggins? Probably not. Probably not. But how do I want to put this? I don't know. Why? You don't have to be frustrated, I guess is what I'm saying. Because he's going through something, and he's either going to come back or not. And I think at this point, there's 9 games left.
9!
Why don't we just say he's probably not coming back?
Okay.
Why don't we operate under that premise?
I resigned to that. I've done that.
So let's go from there. Let's treat Wiggins as just a bonus. All right?
No doubt.
A bonus.
You are in my notebook. Let me throw this at you and how my computer or my Wi-Fi work. So, I don't know about you, Steiny. I have an ego. I have pride. I'm part of a team. I've been a part of many of teams. And I feel like I've been a good teammate. And a part of being a good teammate, one trait you have to have is you got to have your teammates back, whether they're right or wrong. And where I'm going,
whether they're right or wrong,
regardless, I'll talk to you about me having your back in public, knowing your ass was wrong, but I won't put you on Front Street and not have it. Memphis, the first game in Memphis, Draymond dedicated a podcast about Dylan Brooks. And to me, I'm a guy that keeps saying they got a switch, they got a lever, and they'll hit that lever when it's go time. But when stuff gets personal, and there's hate and there's disdain for each other, like I believe Memphis and the Warriors, and especially with Dre amping it up with Dylan Brooks, for Dylan Brooks to beat your ass the way he beat the Warriors weeks ago, that bothered me. Then we got Saturday, revenge, Kevin Costner. I'm thinking, okay, the Warriors are James Brown, the big payback. They're going to rub Memphis's face in the mud for embarrassing them. What happens? Draymond's on the court. The Warriors are at full strength. All I know, Wiggins. And the same thing happens. So now I'm watching this team thinking, if that can't get you jumped, started, what can? So I'm holding out hope that the playoffs, game 1, they'll hit the switch. But if you didn't hit the switch and have Dre's back and know that Dylan Brooks is just a clown, and you still let him clown you guys? Because that's what he was doing, talking to Steph. You got Clay counting the Warriors don't do that. We don't stoop to, I'm saying we don't stoop to that level. That makes me think it's bigger than what I think it is. And that's why I said, and that's why I'm saying Andrew Wiggins is a must. And if you're right, Steiny, he's not coming, Warriors ain't scaring anybody. You can still go win. They ain't scaring anybody.
So if you're this worried about the Warriors, why do you keep saying they're not going to do anything in the playoffs?
Because I felt like their mettle was tested.
I mean, maybe they won't make if they're as bad as you think, they ain't maybe making the playoffs. They might not make the playoffs. Like if they lose to Dallas, then they drop to 7. I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Okay. Utah is right there.
You got Philly Saturday, then Minnesota, New Orleans.
I know it's if Minnesota comes in here and beats you on Sunday,
that can't happen.
Okay,
though.
Well, it's now game 73, and 17 things that can't happen have happened. We got to you keep saying this team's not very good, but you got to allow then for the fact they might not make the playoffs. Let me ask Warrior fans this at 888-957-9570. Are you more concerned with seeding and who the Warriors matchup's going to be? Or are you kind of like me and you're like, I should worry about getting into the playoffs? Because getting into the playoffs is not a lock. And obviously the top 6 are in the playoffs. 7 most likely is going to make the playoffs, but possibly not. But 7's not the playoffs. But 7 will probably get you into the playoffs.
Right.
8 will probably get you into the playoffs. But you look at the standings, I mean, they're not far from 11 if they lose 2 or 3 in a row right now. So that's all I'm saying about the Warriors. We're on the one hand, well, they can win the championship. They got to get to the playoffs first. And if they stub their toe at home for the first time this year,
because they got 4 coming up,
when they get back there, they're in trouble.
They got 4 in a row at home coming up.
Right.
And that's why I kind of had off the table. They got Philly this Saturday.
You think Philly can beat the Warriors?
Yes.
Okay.
Minnesota.
Okay. Can Minnesota come in here and beat the Warriors?
I got 2 questions. Anthony Edwards playing or not?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay.
He's playing.
Anything's possible.
All right.
New Orleans. I think the Warriors take care of business. San Antonio. I think the Warriors take care of business. Then they go on the road to Denver and come home to OKC and end it in Sac and Portland.
408, do you think we're just kidding ourselves about the Warriors going anywhere in the playoffs at this point? We kept telling ourselves we'd go on a run all season long, and here we are barely over 500.
Man.
Depends if you think they have a switch or not.
What'd you think of last night? Or do you want to throw something at me because they got their 8th win on the road? Don't ask about how last night was, but if I style point it.
I don't care about style.
Okay.
They're not good enough to think about style points.
And you know what? I'm just late to the party on that, man.
Had they lost that game, winning that game last night is the bare minimum.
No doubt.
It doesn't change. It doesn't really change things one iota. Now, Dallas tomorrow,
it's a playoff game.
You win that game,
you got
now
Philly
you're feeling
Saturday.
good.
Yeah.
Now you're feeling a little bit better. If you lose to Dallas tomorrow, you go back to 500. You're essentially you essentially now can't catch Dallas because they'll have the tiebreaker over you. So that'll be very difficult. And then you go home for 4 games, which on the one hand is great, but on the other hand, it's like, well, don't lose it at home now. Meaning your mojo.